The Toronto Raptors have wasted 2 years of Scottie Barnes and RJ Barrett's careers. Welcome to Amateur Answers. This is a new series where I read your comments and react to them. If you want one of yours featured in the next one, then make sure you comment down below something for me to react to or answer. And while you're down there, make sure you do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more Raptors content just like this. But first comment here comes from @ShannonFerguson3029, and this is in reference to the video I made talking about the Raptors really fast forwarding their rebuild and acquiring Brandon Ingram at the trade deadline, which I revisited in a video a couple of weeks ago, and executives around the league weren't happy and didn't agree with the way the Raptors were running their team. And Shannon here says this executive is correct. Toronto had enough good young players to start to build a winning culture organically. They've wasted 2 years of Scottie's and RJ's careers. This get rich quick scheme is a sham. So I read this comment a few times. After all, it is the lead off for the first episode of this, but I still don't really quite understand it. Wasting 2 years of their careers. I mean, first of all, RJ Barrett hasn't even been a Raptor for 2 years. He's been a Raptor for a season and a half. But I guess, if we want to go into that time frame, the last season and a half, the Raptors have really kind of bought into this rebuild here. They were a big selling team at the deadline last season or 2 seasons ago, whatever you want to call it, when they acquired Immanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett in exchange for OG Anunoby. And I don't really see how these years have been wasted. RJ Barrett has progressed his game quite significantly since joining the Raptors. And for Scottie Barnes, took a big leap last year. Obviously, this was a bit of a down year, but probably learned a lot about his game along the way and still improved drastically on defense. And since these two players have gotten these reps and gotten these major reps for the team over the last season and a half, it feels like they are much more equipped now to help what should be a winning team next year, what should be, in theory, a playoff team next year. So I don't really understand how these 2 years have been wasted for them. Now, I can understand maybe people who don't think that the Brandon Ingram trade was right for the team and that we still needed more time to develop this team. But, given the situation, the Raptors were already investing quite a lot of money into guys like Barrett, Barnes, and Quickley. You don't really want to hang around on those big contracts while not putting together a winning team. So, I'm supportive of the Brandon Ingram trade. I can understand the frame of mind that the Raptors could have built things organically, but having wasted 2 years of their careers, that just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Next comment here comes from Greg Saddy, whatever it is. I do recognize this user as Gregory from the live streams, one of the great members from the community, so thank you so much, Gregory, for the comment here. This team will be set next year with a top 7 pick. And yeah, it does kind of feel like a top 7 pick really enhances this team, and hey, that pick could even be better, but the starting 5 for next season is likely going to be Immanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, Scottie Barnes, Brandon Ingram, and Jakob Poeltl. Off the bench, you've got the likes of Grady Dick still, Jamal Shead coming off of a great rookie season, Jacoby Walter hopefully still developing in the offseason, Ochai Agbaji, good defensive player, good 3-and-D guy coming off the bench, and then hopefully a really good pick comes in, and maybe that pick could be the backup center this team is lacking. They really need to strengthen that position, and perhaps that backup center could be Common Malawash coming into the team, and what a terrific pickup that would be out of the draft. And we'll talk a little bit more about the draft in the channel as we get closer to draft day and to lottery day, but it seems like this team is well-equipped to be a playoff team next year. Absolutely. Next comment comes from Dano_Omen saying, I'm not calling the Raptors a title contender or anything next year, but there's definitely enough talent. You've got 3 guys who can easily give you 25 and 5 a night. So talking about RJ, Scottie, and Brandon Ingram. A point guard who can give you 17 to 20 points and 8 assists, which is Quickley, and a center who can give you 15 and 10, which is Poeltl. Reminds me a lot of the Cavs, but not as good. The Cavs don't really have a superstar, but they have 3 to 4 all-star caliber players and are deep. Raptors add a top pick and see growth from Grady, and this year's rookies, there's a lot of potential there. So, loaded comment here. First of all, in reference to the Cavaliers, feels like this season Donovan Mitchell, that is, has upgraded his game to pretty close to superstar level. So to say no superstar is a little bit strange to me. I feel like Donovan Mitchell, top of my head, probably could make a really big case to be first team All NBA. Very, very impressive season from Donovan Mitchell. But I do think there's a lot of really good players on the team to strengthen the Raptors. I wouldn't go as far as to call them a title contender, but there's a lot of offense in this team. You do have 3 guys who should comfortably give you around 20 points per game in Barrett, Barnes, and Ingram. Then you've got Quickley giving you, maybe 17, 18. And all of a sudden, like, you're already up to 78 points from just those guys. And you can throw in the 15 points a game from Jakob Pearl. You've already got 93 points coming per game from your starting unit there. And that's not counting for the guys who are coming off the bench. Like Grady Dick should be able to give you 10 off the bench. Is Shead giving you 8? Is Walter giving you 8? Like Ochai Agbaji and whoever the Raptors draft. Like, yeah, it's going to be a quality team. It still, to me, kind of lacks the top-tier talent. And it still, to me, kind of lacks the spacing and defense. Now, granted, the Raptors were lacking defensive qualities this year, but still were very good on defense this season. So maybe the defense is going to be there. And if it is there, I think that's the big swing piece alongside the spacing and shooting. They can get enough of it. But, I mean, if they can get enough defense, this team can be competitive. I'm not going to go as far as to compare them to the Cavs, but I can't call them a title contender either. But it's going to be a very interesting season next year for the Raptors, no doubt. Quick interruption here because I need to talk to you guys about Amateur Hour merch. It's the best way to support the channel and you get some great stuff in return. Today, I am rocking the shirt that comes from the pack. We have the shirts in white, but I'm also wearing the hat that is in black. We have the same hats as well available in white. And we also have stickers that you may be interested in as well. If you buy any piece of the merch pack, you get a few stickers for free, but you can also just get the stickers on their own if you don't want to spend as much. But head to the link in the description to get to the Kijiji link to get your merch today. Free local deliveries in Toronto by myself, but we can also ship it out to you wherever you are located. Just head over to the link in the description. Support Amateur Sports by copying yourself some Amateur Hour merch. I'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to Amateur Hour answers. This comes from Leland Review. As an NBA fan for decades, I don't like this either. This is in reference to the tanking going on around the NBA. Having even one team losing on purpose is bad. Having half the league doing it is just a disgrace. They need to change how teams get draft picks. All the broken NBA records are meaningless now because nobody is even trying to stop them from scoring. So I disagree with that last part there. I do agree that tanking is a problem, and the fact that like almost half the Eastern Conference are tanking. That's definitely a problem. I don't think teams are not trying, and I don't think that like records are being broken because teams are not trying. I don't really see necessarily that correlation there. But in reference to tanking and how to change how teams get draft picks, I don't see what the fix is. Like, if you want to make everyone's odds in the lottery the same, now the tanking is going to occur higher up in the standings, and teams that are on the bubble of the play-in are going to be doing everything possible to not make the play-in tournament because, hey, I could finish just outside the play-in spots and have the same odds as the worst team in the NBA. And then if you do change the odd format like that, then now the teams that are actually bad and actually do need help from the draft and from the lottery, those teams are going to be still stuck in the basement with no way out, like especially if you're a small market team that like the draft is all you got. So I don't really know what the fix is. Let me know in the comments down below your ideas to fix tanking, but I do agree the NBA does have a problem right now. Next question comes from BJ Budwar 6825. What do you think about chance, and would it be good? What do you think about the chances, and would it be a good fit for the Greek Freak coming to Toronto? I'm paraphrasing because there's a little bit of typos here, but Masai and Giannis love each other. So, you can go back to some of the archives, let's say, of this channel here. They're just publicly available videos you can go back to, but leading into Milwaukee's NBA championship in 2021, so the offseason in 2020, there were a lot of questions about Giannis' future, and a lot of videos sparked up in the Raptors community here, including on my channel, about the possibility of Giannis signing for the Raptors. Listen, great thought. Giannis, be awesome fit here, but this story's got to be put to bed. Giannis is not going to come to the Raptors. It's very, look, never say never. If Luka Doncic gets traded, anything can happen at any time, but it doesn't, I wouldn't bank at all on anything on Giannis leaving, first of all, or coming to the Raptors. I don't think Giannis is leaving. He's got the chip in Milwaukee. I think he's a buck to stay, but anything can happen. I don't think it'll be the Raptors, so I wouldn't be holding on hope there. Next question comes from Maximilian Arturo 3927. So this is a comment from my video where I talked about Darko Rajakovic and Mike Malone, Taylor Jenkins, Mike Brown available. Would the Raptors consider, swapping Darko for one of those guys? And we had comments about Darko Rajakovic as a head coach. This one first says, can we be real? I like Darko, but he ain't a head coach that will deliver a championship. Also, the assistants that he has are one of some of the worst coaches in the league. I mean, Pat Delaney has taken a lot of heat this season, so maybe that's in reference to that. If the Raptors want to be serious, you can't have this kind of coaching leading you to the promised land, just saying. So I'm not a big fan of Darko Rajakovic, but I think he's done enough to earn the right to see if he can be a winning coach for next season. I'm not convinced that this is a championship caliber coach either, but he's earned the opportunity to prove it for next season. That's my thought on it. There's enough development there. Like, you can see the players really buy into what he's doing. So I think he's deserved another year. As far as the assistants go, I'll continue to make this point. At the end of the day, there's a head coach who has the final say. So, the assistants are coaching poorly. The head coach can fix that as well. But the head coach is the face of it, and he has to take ownership of anything that does go wrong. Next comment comes from J Morgan 321, which is on the other side, who says, keep him, in reference to Darko. Can't judge a coach really based on a bad roster, but if we not at least play in next year, then not going to lie, maybe, and saying not going to lie, maybe we should fire him. Yeah, that's how I feel. He's earned the opportunity to try and coach a winning team, but if it goes poorly next year and he can't prove he can be a winning coach, that's probably the time for the Raptors, yes, indeed, to move on. At the Northfish says, Cade and Mobley made huge jump this season. Hope Scottie can follow suit next year. So for Scottie Barnes, Barnes kind of made his leap last year and vaulted himself up to an all-star. Now, Mobley has made a big leap this year. Cade has made a sensational leap this season, absolutely. But Barnes has already kind of showcased he can be that good and be that all-star caliber player. So for next year, I don't know we need a jump. I just think we need him to get back to that level that he was producing. And in the end, this season, he improved immensely on defense. Now we just need the offense to go back to what it was last season. And all of a sudden, what a phenomenal player that the Raptors have here. So, again, hopefully, there is a leap compared to this year, and hopefully we get back to that. But maybe Barnes is just a little bit ahead of the other pack and now needs to catch up as they've overlapped him there. Next one comes from at Tim Gesner 4416. Raps will be in the playoffs next year, barring major injuries. 6th seed on the high end, play-in at the worst, with Brandon Ingram being the focal point of the offense and Scottie Barnes secondary. Also, keep RJ. So keep RJ Barrett. This comment here for the playoffs, a lot of people are eyeing up the 6th seed for the Raptors. That's the goal for the Raptors. 6th seed, maybe, avoid Celtics, Cavaliers. We'll see what the hierarchy looks like next season. Maybe the Sixers are back. But like I said earlier, the team looks poised to be a playoff team, looks in position to be a playoff team for next season. So I absolutely can concur with that and say, if they're not a playoff team, there's a problem. They're not even in the play-in. That's a very big problem. But 8th at worst, I think, is what the Raptors should be looking up. But a lot can change for a lot of teams in the offseason before we get there. Next one comes from Windowman 9665. I've seen this one. Who's upset? So this was, I said, I did a video talking about how well Davion Mitchell played for the Heat, and Raptor fans are getting upset over that. And I said, we were prioritizing Jamal Shead. Davion Mitchell left in the offseason, so they got something instead of nothing. But who's upset? No one. Didn't we get a second-round pick and PJ? So in the video I talked about this, I specifically said that they got a second-round pick alongside PJ Tucker. This is the Davion Mitchell trade, the one that sent Mitchell to the Heat. The Raptors got back a second-round pick and PJ Tucker. I said that exact thing in the video, but I also said that Raptors fans are upset about it. Who's upset? Well, let's go to the next comment. At Chad Wellington 2524. It was a mistake. So literally in the same comment section, there's people upset about it. Mitchell brings good energy to a team, and he's going to be in his prime next couple of years. Mitchell brings good energy to the team. Yeah. He's going to be in his prime. Yeah, but I'm 25, almost 26. I'll be in my prime athletic years. Maybe if it wasn't for my ACL torn knee from a couple years ago, maybe. But just because you're going to be in your prime doesn't mean you're going to be good enough to really hold down on the team. You know what I'm saying? Just because a guy is at his best doesn't mean he's worthy of having on the team. And as I said in the video, Davion Mitchell wasn't playing that well for the Raptors. And in the end, we prioritized Jamal Shead. Jamal Shead took a big leap in the second half of the season, and I'm really excited to see what he looks like next season. And the Raptors couldn't afford to keep Davion Mitchell even if they wanted to at the end of the season. They don't have enough cap space. They don't have enough space to actually afford him. So I disagree that it was a mistake, but it's just funny, who's upset? Well, people in the same comment section, and including the next comment, CHM2 says, I like Davion for this roster. I would have rather kept him and tried to deal IQ for a nice haul. So for the people who think we should have kept Davion, I think they're missing the bigger picture. But for this being the reason, yeah, you could afford Davion Mitchell if you traded Immanuel Quickley, but why would we do that? Yeah, why would we do that? Davion Mitchell was getting, like, if we recall, Davion Mitchell was getting DNPs, coaches' decisions for the Raptors. Like, he was on the bench, suited up, getting 0 minutes in some of the games for the Raptors. He is nowhere near Immanuel Quickley's level. I don't think he's sniffing Immanuel Quickley's spot as the starting point guard. Yeah, keeping Mitchell's one thing, but having him start instead of Immanuel Quickley is a bit crazy to me. That was just never ever going to happen. Like, there's a huge gulf in abilities there. Davion Mitchell obviously brings a lot defensively, but Immanuel Quickley brings so much to the table offensively as a top tier player in the league. Yeah, that was just never going to happen. It would have made the Raptors worse to do that. Next comment comes from Aquamarine99911. I loved Davion, but A, he was helping us win games this season. B, as you point out from the video, the team couldn't afford to pay him next season without going to the tax. So yeah, the tax situation was obviously a problem, but helping us win games, I disagree. I don't think he was helping us win games. He was there. Like, I'd say a lot of the games he wasn't helping winning because he was left wide open for three, wasn't hitting enough of them, wasn't good enough at finishing on the inside. So I don't think this is a case where they traded him because, like, we're winning too many games, we have to tank. I just think he was going to leave end of the season and get something instead of nothing. But, interesting perspective, as always. Next comment comes from Adrian AU66760. These usernames are really hard to read. Mitchell was never really the long-term backup point guard with the team getting Shead. He was nothing more than a stopgap option at backup point guard. As much as he was a dog defensively, he was a terrible free throw shooter for a point guard, and opponents dared him to shoot threes every single time when he had the ball. Yep, Shead isn't a great three-point shooter either. They're still working on cutting down his turnovers and fouls, but he's already fearless at driving to the rim. He has the upside of Mitchell, and if he does get a consistent three-point shot, look out. Yeah, so the Raptors prioritize giving Jamal Shead the minutes. Rightfully so. I believe I said it before the trade even happened that maybe it's time to, already commit to Jamal Shead, but the Raptors saw a gap in their backup point guard at the start of the season. Davion Mitchell was the quick fix for the season. They were not banking on their 45th pick being so good out the gates, but then when he was, they had the flexibility and option to move on from Davion Mitchell. And again, I believe that was the right thing to do. And I agree with the comment here. Like let's not forget the issues that Davion Mitchell did have for the team as well. So that's it for the first rendition of Amateur Hour Answers. If you enjoyed the content like this, let me know. We can do more like this. We're just trying something out here. If it does well, we'll keep doing it. So let me know what you want to see. If you want your comment featured on the next one, we're going to try and do these every Saturday. Leave a comment down below. I'll pick some of the best ones to react to for the next video. Drop a like if you did enjoy. Make sure you subscribe as well for more Raptors content. I will see you next time for more from Amateur Sports.